We can play the game.
Yeah,
Okay. So it's called
I should say.
the game is called the Game of the Dragon Snake. And so, can I have 5 people? Okay, just come on up here. I need 4 more.
What is
2 more. Come on, Jesse. 1 more, Megan. I know you like your games.
You already know what it is. I don't know.
Okay, who wants to be the doctor?
What does it consist of?
I just know that it's weird.
Okay, you're gonna be the doctor.
doctor.
Okay, you'll be the doctor. You're the head, and then y'all like get in line like this. Okay, and you're the tail. So at this,
what is Megan?
She's the doctor.
she's the doctor, and they're the dragon.
Okay.
Or dragon snake.
Dragon's name.
Okay, and so at this, the doctor will fly into a rage and attempt to catch the child who represents the tail of the dragon snake, which is Jessie.
And so y'all use your hands to try to
So
block her.
the head of the line stretches his or her arms to the bar to bar the doctor, while the dragon snake tries to make a circle. So that's what the game will consist of. Y'all are gonna like attempt to make a circle and block Megan from getting Jessie. Okay, and so there's dialogue. Okay, so the dragon snake approaches the doctor. The following dialogue occurs. You say, "Where are you going?"
Where are you going?
"I'm searching for medicine for my son."
I'm searching for medicine for my son.
"How old is he?"
How old is he?
And then you'll repeat, "He is 1 year old, the doctor is not well," and then you'll say that over and over again until you get to 10. And y'all all say it together. So he is 1 year old.
You say he's 1 year old, the doctor's not well. And then he's 2 years old, the doctor's not well. Until you get 10, the doctor's well.
Okay, he is 1 year old, the doctor's not well. He is 2 years old, the doctor's not well.
No, you just stand there.
3 years old, the doctor's not well. He is 4 years old, the doctor's not well. He is 5 years old, the doctor's not well. He is 6 years old, the doctor's not well. 7 years old, the doctor's not well. He's 8 years old, the doctor's not well. He's 9 years old, the doctor's not well. He's 10 years old, the doctor is well.
Oh, yeah, and then you say, well, you're saying, "All right, the doctor is well."
All right, the doctor is well.
So it's like each time, it's supposed to be the dialogue the whole time, each time, but we're not doing it. But like you would say he's 1 and she would say he's not
No,
well.
it has
He's 2.
to.
Oh, it does?
No, that's not what
Yeah.
Now I say, give me your head.
And then you say, and you say,
Progressed. Nothing but the bones.
Give me the body.
Nothing but the blood.
Give me the tail. It's gruesome.
Pursue at will.
and so now you can try to get I think when you're a kid, it's more fun.
No, but I think you gotta dodge, and the goal is to try to get the child.
Yeah, you have to like try harder.
And you're trying hard enough. What am I supposed to do?
Turn around and get away.
Wait, you guys, I'm gonna stay alive.
Oh, God.
Okay, good.
Okay, I mean, alright.
And also, just so y'all know, when I was looking at the game, I saw a lot of pictures of like old ladies playing it. So I thought it was kind of funny to me. Like at a lot of like ceremonies and stuff, like there's just people in circles like playing it.
I think it would be fun if you had bigger space too, maybe.
Yeah.
And what's the significance of this game? Is there something? What is the point?
No idea.
Why?
I don't know the significance.
I know, and even in the Western culture, we play games like that.
Yeah.
What is that?
Ring around the rosy.
Yeah.
They have a game that's similar to that, but a little different.
But running around the roses, particular poses, with a small talk and small talks.
Yeah.
We did
We did the game while we were reading it.
Okay. Is that what the laughing was?
Yeah.
Here, Ken, bring it over here.
So we can all start together and his him.
I love that, yeah.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, our setup took a little bit of time.
She was like, where did they go? I was like, right over there. All right.
You intro?
Oh, my intro. Xin chào, bác quay hong. That means hello, how are you? My name is Kim.
Sarah.
Oh, Laura.
Julia. And we did the Vietnamese culture.
So this is just quick facts for you guys to see just initially. We're going to go into a lot of detail, but our country's Vietnam. They speak Vietnamese. Obviously, Kim has a few of the words down. They eat a lot of rice, fish, vegetables, pork and chicken, and they don't eat any red meat. They have a lot of religions, as you can see, but it's not like a religion, but like their way of life is Confucianism, and that's kind of the basis of all of their religions and their social hierarchies and everything, and I'm going to talk about it in a second. Oh.
So we have a little wedding video just to kind of get you on the mood with Vietnamese culture. Alright, so that's just kind of a little bit, you can kind of see like a little bit of the culture, the colors they wear, the food they eat, all that stuff.
Alright, so I'm going to talk a little bit about some of their traditions and belief system that I mentioned about Confucianism, just obviously important for occupational therapy, learning about what they value and stuff like that. So Confucianism was found, I don't know if any of y'all knew that, but his name is Kung Fu Tzu, but like Confucian is like the name, Confucius is the name he got from it. So he was an official in the Chinese court, so Confucianism does come from China, but a lot of Asian cultures follow it now. And so basically he saw China like break up into 5 different states, and they were all fighting like for supremacy, and he was like, we need some kind of like order here. So he decided to start his own code to regulate social order, and then he left the Chinese court to travel and basically like spread his teachings. I assume heard of Confucius, right? Yeah. So it was established in Vietnam in order to describe the individual's place in society. It talks about their system of like behaviors, obligations of people. It's like loyalty and ethics, behavior, like duty, like based off that kind of stuff. And then they have 5 different like major relationships, and like that's kind of like how you respect each other. So like the subject respects the ruler, the child respects the parent, but they use it as father and son. It's a very patriarchal society. The wife respects the husband, the younger siblings respect the older siblings, and then with friendships, I saw it a few different ways, but friend to friend is the most like equivalent one. But like if you have like a friend who's like more senior than you, like older than you, you're supposed to respect them. It's like all based on age. The primary thing is age. I just put that in to make y'all laugh. I thought it was funny. I was looking for like a funny Confucius says thing that's like related to OT, and there was none. They were mostly inappropriate. So I thought that one was cute. And then this I thought was really neat because it's a quote that a lot of OTs use, and he's the one that said this. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. And we're all going to look for jobs. So face is really important to Vietnamese people, as well as Confucianism. Basically, it's kind of like what we would call like a first impression. Like they go to like a business meeting and they have to build their face. And like if, like we're gonna talk about it later, but like mental illness, like they kind of look down on it because it's like losing face when you like act out and like do things bad. They wrote a lot of stuff on here, but yeah, so you can build face, you can lose face, you can save your face, and it can be an individual or it can also be a group. So it's really important, even like when you're traveling, to like kind of understand their face, like as a tourist. And another thing that's kind of interesting, I don't remember if I wrote this on here, but they, like a lot of people, like Americans, like think Vietnamese people lie a lot. because it's like looked down upon and like losing face to say no. Like you're not supposed to say no to people. So if like get in the cab when you're traveling and say, do you know where this is? They'll say yeah, but they really don't know where it is, but it's like disrespectful to say no. Or if you ask them a question, they don't know the answer, whereas like Western culture, we would say, I don't know, they'll like start talking about something that they do know. So it's like really bad to like not know things or like say no, which is, I think, kind of interesting. Am I going too long?
Oh, no, I thought you were done.
Oh, okay. I think there was one more thing, but it's probably fine. I don't remember. No, I think I said it all.
But I think that's an important fact that
Yeah,
you
it
brought
is.
up there. It's a critical feature, and so you do not want your clients to use space.
Exactly, yeah. It's like a big deal for them. Same with collectivism is just kind of, they're very like group oriented. Like I read about like a lot of times the parents, whereas like in Western culture it'll be like think for yourself, like be creative, like be who you are. Whereas they're like what's the best for your family. Like family is so important. Like all the different generations live together, and it's all about like what's gonna make your family look good. Or if you like work for a company, it's about like what's gonna make the company look good, what's gonna make the group look good. So it's not really about like it's individualism or collectivism is like the comparison, and they're very collectivist culture. But yeah, so family is like super important to them. They all are like if someone in your family has a problem, like you are supposed to help them, and vice versa. If you have a problem, your family members are supposed to help you. So yeah, it goes back to the face thing. You're protecting your group's face. Thanks. Okay, last one. That picture I thought was funny. That was George Bush wearing like the royal Vietnamese thing. But basically their hierarchy is very important to them. Is obviously first is like your royal class, and then you have like your I can't remember what they call it, but it's like education. Like education is super important to them, and it's really hard to get a good education there. So not many people have it. And then children are really important to them. So that's like how you like show your importance is like you have a lot of money and then you have a lot of kids. Like you have as many kids as you can afford, because that like shows like you move your way up in society by having more children, by having more education. And they really value like manual labor too. So I saw that like it was founded by, obviously their hierarchy was founded by like Confucianism, but it was kind of interesting. Like back in the day, like business class was like the lowest class because they thought that like business transactions were like bad because you're like trying to sell things to people, I guess. I don't think they do that anymore though, but it's kind of interesting. But yeah, so basically your royalties first and then your education, and you're always, anytime you go to a room, anytime you go to a restaurant, oldest people you greet first, oldest people you serve first. It's all about age. Did I say everything? Yeah, I think that's it.
So I'm doing customs. Okay. So in Vietnamese culture, there's like about 54 ethnic groups, and based on those ethnic groups, they have different kind of clothing styles. So this is one of them. As you can see, it's very contradicting colors. They're usually black and red, blue red, or blue and white. And then they're woven by natural fibers, including hemp and silk and cotton. And usually, women dresses with their necks open so you can see the layers. So the layers are usually, the outer one is usually black or light brown, and then the middle is yellow tunic, and then the inside is the rose tunic. And then also, what? Sorry, she was looking at me.
I'm listening to you.
Here. Good, okay. So the royalty is determined by the colors. So the kings usually wear yellows, and then the red is for higher grade mandarins like military people, police, and then the blue-green are lower grade mandarins. And then this is a famous traditional dress. It's called áo đai, and that's what they usually wear for weddings or special occasions. Young girls usually wear white, and these are the girls that usually go to school. And older but unmarried like me, they wear soft pastels. And then married people or married girls wear strong rich colors. And then along with that, they usually wear a conical hat, which is made out of bamboo, young palms, and wheat, usually what we call rice hat. And these hats protect people from the sunlight, the rain, basically everyday wear kind of hat. Healthcare is a little bit interesting in Vietnam culture. Majority of people would believe in regular doctors, but there are some ethnic minorities that would believe in supernatural factors. One of those ethnic minorities are the Min and the Hmong. And what they do is they seek treatment from the priest instead of doctors because they believe they communicate with higher beliefs or higher beings. So usually women don't use anesthesia in this kind of culture. And they believe in herbal medicines or herbal remedies and tonics and massages instead of medication. And as you can see, this bracelet is an amulet. If you see a little Vietnamese toddlers or infants, they usually wear that red string with a green stone or necklaces. It could either be bracelets or necklaces or like a little string on the waist. And that is actually a protection amulet which protect the infants and toddlers from evil spirits. And mental illness is kind of unique there. It's viewed as shameful, bad karma, and they're oftentimes denied and feared. Mental illness is not called mental illness there. Practitioners call it behavioral health. And these are some things that they do as their herbal remedies. As you can see, cupping, Michael Phelps used that during the Olympic. What it is a cup of glass, and then they put they heat it up so the air will suck your skin, which creates some kind of hematoma, and it's supposed to help your blood circulate. And this is Calgeo, which is really weird because they put oil in their skin and then they continuously rub the skin with coin. And it's supposed to help with headaches, cold. It just increases the circulation. And the moxibustion is known for the Mien culture. And it's basically the moxa, which is a type of leaves, and then they roll it up and they make superficial burns in the torso. And it's supposed to help with the musculoskeletal ailments like stroke or arthritis. And here are some common etiquettes in the culture. They don't do PDAs, especially with opposite sex. They don't touch someone's head. Whenever they point, they don't use finger, they use their hand. They don't cross their arms. It's considered rude. And they pass items with both hands. Also, whenever they're very family oriented, so whenever they go to another family's house for food, you can give gifts, but there are some rules. The gift should be wrapped in colorful papers, and you cannot give gifts, handkerchief, white flowers, and yellow chrysanthemums as gifts because they signify funeral. Like handkerchief signifies a farewell or goodbye, and then the white flowers and the yellow flowers signifies death. So they don't. It's a bad sign. And since meals are very important with Vietnamese people, they have etiquettes to follow. You have to wait for the people to tell you where to sit. Usually older people sit first, and you pass the dishes with both hands. Chopsticks should be placed in the table or rest, and you can't point chopsticks to people, and you can't leave it up, sticking up on your bowl. It's considered death too, like a funeral. You hold your spoon with your left hand when you're eating soup, and then whenever you have to eat all your food. It's rude if you don't finish any of your meal. And this is a famous dish. It's called pho, not pho, pho, and it's usually beef balls, flings, tendons, brisket. And it has cilantro, onions, and bean sprouts, and the rice vermicelli noodles, and you put it in a beef broth. And it's really good, and we have that here. And I think we're gonna watch the video.
Yeah, and we're gonna pass out the food while y'all watch this video.
idea?
You're gonna ask her that. So y'all can tell us if you don't want them. Just a tiny bit of that. Whoop. That's it? Just one. No, thank you. You don't want it? No, thank you. Thank you.
What about this? It's bean sprout, mint, and cilantro. What is that? Okay, is that good?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't need the leaves.
You want some? This is the vermicelli. Here, you want some?
I did not know you're not supposed to put the fish over.
We could just finish it while they're finished. Just for some of them.
Yeah. I have this first. So do they always wear that, or is that more? Yeah.
I think this would be like a more westernized wedding. I think you know how like America does the videos. I think that's what this is more of, but.
Well, I think in Vietnam, people who wear gowns. Yes, that's
Kim, which place did you go to get this?
You should have gotten this
They have some pretty good stuff that for those of you who want to go. They also have sandwiches. But the banh mi sandwiches are really nice.
They're really good.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it.
It's kind of familiar, but no, you're definitely not like well. Jennifer Robinson. She used to not have red hair. Right?
Were y'all the one that said that they eat red meat?
Yeah, they do.
I forgot about her. Yeah, I know.
I think in America they'll put it in there just for people that don't like chicken and stuff.
Yeah,
I just like brisket, and that's what I was like,
Yeah, I think it's more of in America they go ahead and add that stuff in, but in Vietnam they don't. Okay, so we're gonna keep going while y'all eat. Okay, so we chose Arnie Gilbert for our client. Okay, so his occupational profile. So Arnie Grape is a 17-year-old male with autism spectrum disorder. According to his brother, Arnie presented processing and sequencing difficulties and needed verbal cueing in order to perform a task, such as there was an instance where Arnie sat in the bathtub all night because his brother did not tell him to get out. Arnie said he enjoys climbing things such as trees and the water tower, playing hide and seek, and watching the motorhomes drive down the road once a year with his brother. He did not understand why people always got upset when he climbed the water tower. Arnie stated that he liked to eat candy and hang out with his brother Gilbert, who is his favorite person. He said he loves his mom a lot and that he's mom's baby. Arnie's family members stated a desire for Arnie to eat with his family at the dinner table and to be able to perform and follow the traditional Vietnamese customs and etiquettes. They stated that Arnie struggled to remember the order of the dinner etiquette rules, such as passing bowls with 2 hands and placing his chopsticks on the top of the bowl and finished eating. He also struggled with staying at the dinner table the entire meal and eating all of his food before saying he was finished. Arnie's siblings said that overall, Arnie does not conform to the normal Vietnamese cultures and traditions, and he often expressed a loss of face because of his words and actions. He often forgot not to point with his finger and placed his hands on his hips. According to his siblings, on a day-to-day basis, he offended multiple other people in the Vietnamese culture because of his lack of ability to conform to the rules and customs. And Arnie's family hoped that occupational therapy could help him learn and remember the rules of their culture, remember the sequence of etiquette during dinner, and be able to bathe himself independently.
So our targeted occupation is the dinner sequence or etiquette. So we chose the task-oriented frame of reference. It's going to help work on sequencing and processing skills with the hope of it generalizing to other tasks, such as like the bathing and all that kind of stuff. We're going to use repetitive task and goal-directed training and functional task practice to help kind of do all this. Yes, so Arnie knows the movements of dinner, he just can't put them together, so it's not that he's unable to hold a bowl with 2 hands and pass it, it's just that he doesn't know like that comes after the sitting down and all that kind of stuff, so he doesn't really have any of the functional issues, it's more of the mental processing and sequencing. So one of our intervention techniques would be having a deck of cards with the steps on them and having Arnie sequence them in order. This will help work on the sequencing and processing. To grade up, we would take the deck of cards away and have him tell us the order. And then to grade down, we would use verbal and visual cues. Visual as in like having like, what did I say? Stickers on the bowls to kind of help him like remember it's like 2 hands and stuff like that. And then another intervention that we would do would be simulated meal activities. So it's kind of a way for him to practice it in a more natural setting, the way it will be at his home. So it would target the sequencing and performing. To grade up, we would have him do it without the visual cards. So on baseline, like we'd let him do it with the cards to grade up, but we'd take the cards away and have him do it. And then to grade down, we'd allow the visual and verbal cueing. Okay, so test your knowledge. So, which of the following is not a dinner etiquette rule in Vietnamese culture?
Eating alone.
Yeah, C. Okay, who would be seated and served first at the dinner table in the Great family?
You'll go with D?
That's your final answer. Okay, which would be accepted in Vietnamese culture to be done in public?
D.
D, none of the above.
Yeah.
So when there's a senior and a male, that for the previous question, the senior takes precedence over male.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, true or false, is it acceptable to give handkerchiefs as gift if it's wrapped in colorful wrapping papers?
False.
Yeah. And then anesthesia is usually given during the birth process. True or false? Good. Yay.
Great job.
And now this is a slide where you're talking about occupational synthesis, the grading.
This one or the other one?
We've got 2 slides on it.
Go to the previous one.
Well, that's the first one.
Right, so when you're using the task-oriented approach and you're using a deck of cards in the correct order that dinner occurs, are you all thinking of just using cards to sequence, or would Arnie be required to sequence the cards and go through the process?
Well, that's kind of how we have both, like with the table, the simulated dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I guess maybe we could just combine it all into one intervention technique.
Right, but it's a task-oriented approach. You're usually engaging them in the task.
Yeah, so they would be using the cards.
Your preparation could be maybe just sequencing, and then when you're using the task-oriented approach, you would be sequencing with the cards at the same time engaging in the task.
Okay.
you'll see why we're using a task-oriented approach
Mm-hmm. So we just kind of combine the simulated meal with the cards?
with the cards.
Okay.
Yes, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, but preparation could be
Just
looking
doing
at
it
the
on its
cards,
own.
doing, that's the prep work. But then when you're actually using the task-oriented approach, you're actually using the cards to sequence and engage in the task.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.